It has been 3 months since Lord of the Rings Online has released their legendary servers, but do these servers justify the cost? For those of you who may not know, Lord of the Rings Online have released 2 legendary servers, Angmar and Mordor. Angmar is located in the United States, and Mordor is the European server. These servers function very similar to the way that classic servers do for World of Warcraft. Essentially, the story gets reset all the way back to the beginning of launch of Lord of the Rings Online, and then continues on from there. However, they take all of those wonderful quality of life items that they have learned over the past 17 years and implement them into that game. And not only that, you're able to carry over any of the external DLC that you bought. Perhaps the Mariner class from the Corsairs of Angmar, or perhaps even the Stout Axe Dwarf race. You can play those on these legendary servers. Something else that's also included on this legendary server is the Veil of the Nine, which as you are out in the open, working through the open world, there's a chance that a wraith will appear as you are clearing out mobs. And it's a fight, as they hit hard as heck and they have a ton of HP. Sometimes you could actually even spawn one of the original 9 ring wraiths, which are incredibly difficult to take down and require a lot of different people to come in and try to kill this damn thing. The server gets announced, it's a whole big community thing. It's pretty cool. And actually the wraiths hit like a Mack truck. They hit like Giga Chads, and my poor Guardian, it doesn't matter which way I go, blue or red build, it doesn't matter. I get roasted. The 64-bit servers also reduce virtually all of in-game lag and allows for super smooth gameplay. These are the major things that stand apart from the standard servers versus the legendary servers in LOTRO. But, of course, this comes with a financial cost. So to join in and play on the legendary servers, it requires you to be a member of the VIP service. Now, the VIP service is an optional sub that you can pay for the game, and for the most part, it's about $15 a month. However, you can also purchase longer periods of time and get that knocked down. Typically, I go for the 3-month time period, and it only comes to about 30 bucks. Now, along with the VIP service, you get a whole bunch of other perks that go along with it. So not just access to the legendary servers, but you also get 500 LOTRO points per month, and these LOTRO points are basically the in-game shop's currency. Additionally, you get more inventory slots, experience bonuses, field access to your mailbox, swift travel, exclusive portrait frames, and more. The other really big thing with the VIP service is that you get access to all of the additional quest packs as well as the skirmishes that are available under the VIP subscription. Basically, you can use the VIP service on the standard servers, not even talking about the legendary servers, and get all the way up until the Fate of Gundabad expansion, which is one of the previous 2 expansions. Legacy of Morgoth is the most recent, and then the one before it was Corsairs of Angmar. However, you'll be getting the LOTRO points so that eventually you could just buy that expansion anyway with the monthly sub that you're paying, and then really just go from there. It's not a terrible way to go about it. When all is said and done, you are getting a lot of extra perks as well as access to the legendary server, for the cost of about like $10 to $15 per month, depending on how much you wish to spend. Legitimately, is that additional cost worth the money for the access to the legendary servers? In my mind, absolutely, 100%. The legendary servers are worth the VIP subscription that you would pay. And it's worth it for a couple of reasons. First is that it's like a second chance for the players who did not get to see Lord of the Rings Online originally played back on its original release. Now, granted, it's fairly identical to the free-to-play server, however, the emphasis being on capping at level 50, as well as all the additional quality of life features that have been included. And I am able to compare this to the free-to-play servers, as the first time that I ever played Lord of the Rings Online, I played on the server Gladden as a man warden. I personally had no idea that Lord of the Rings Online was even a game, I'll be honest with you, until like 2015. But even then, I was still sucked up into my World of Warcraft and League of Legends craze that I never even batted an eye at the game. Now that I've been giving other MMOs a chance, especially here in the past couple of years, I was actually a little sad that I never actually got around to playing this game way back when. There's so many things that make this game great that I just never had the opportunity to play, and I never even had the forethought to play it. But now that I'm going and looking back and I have access to the legendary servers almost as a second chance, I'm really enjoying the experience. The second reason that I think the server justifies the cost is because it's like a classic plus. You get to experience the game as it was on release, yes, but it has a ton of other features that make it feel so much more better, honestly. So like, for example, the Veil of the Nine event adding extra levels of like stalkery death into your open world gameplay. Cool. The landscape difficulty that they added a number of years ago is available on the Legendary server. This allows you to scale the power levels of open world creatures up to incredibly high strengths, providing a huge challenge, making even the early levels brutal. Honestly, the gameplay becomes so much better. Not to mention the huge surge of players who have come onto the Legendary servers and are playing along with you. It feels like the game is a lot more alive and vibrant. And I'm seeing new players as well as veterans, what I would assume are veterans. It's hard for me to tell, really, but it seems like they know what they're doing, so I'm going to go and follow them. And the third reason, and honestly one of the best reasons that I can look at this and say that this is worth it, is that you don't necessarily have to upkeep the subscription just to focus on all the other things while you're waiting for more content. Honestly, you can get through the MSQ in your couple of months of playing Lord of the Rings Online, and then let the sub lapse, just let it fall off, and then when they go ahead and release their next expansion after a couple of months, then you can just resub for that 1 month and go ahead and play and knock your socks off. It's very forgiving back and forth, in my mind, and I think that's something that I really appreciate. And speaking of which, the next expansion, Mines of Moria, which if you didn't know is being released to the Legendary server sometime in early December, which is honestly very, very soon, it kind of further emphasizes the fact that jumping into the game on a Legendary server right now may be very much worth your time. Based off of the time that I have played, it really wouldn't take all that long for me to get to max level on the VIP servers, let alone resubbing to the VIP later as these new expansions roll out on the Legendary servers. Now, we do not have an exact cadence of when all of the expansions are going to be added to the Legendary servers. It's been about 3 months since the original release of Angmar and Mordor, and now they're adding their next expansion, Mines of Moria, to the game, so you can probably venture a guess like every 3, I would even say 5 months, 3 to 5 months depending. Now, again, that isn't official, don't quote me on that, but that's something that you can kind of keep in mind. Now, of course, this is all just my opinion based off of the experience that I have had in the game. If you are not keen on spending any money on the game and you want to try it out before you even think about throwing anything at it, I recommend trying out the free-to-play servers. The free-to-play servers are still 100% worth it. I will promote this game for as long as I can because I know that it's a good time. It has such good classic MMORPG vibes that in my mind, even if you wanted to just try it on the free-to-play servers, it's gonna be worth it. And then if you do like it and it is intriguing enough, I would recommend then going to the VIP server so that you can join on the Legendary servers. This means that you'll be riding this quote-unquote wave of players who are going through the story of Lord of the Rings Online over time on this Legendary server. And then the best part, and it's something that I've tried to stress in a number of different videos, is that you can really get all the content, most of the content, up to like level 95, which is absolutely wild. I mean, hell, even if you wanted some of the content after the free-to-play model ends for Lord of the Rings Online, you can simply grind LOTRO points by doing deeds, which are kind of, think of these as achievements in game, and you can grind these deeds to earn LOTRO points to purchase the expansions that you don't have, and then there you go. You own them and you didn't have to pay a dime. It's really incredible. It should be noted that the process for this is incredibly slow. I am not going to lie to you. I'm not going to sit here and BS you that way. The process is very slow. However, it is technically possible that you could do it without spending a dime. And not to mention, if you are already a part of the VIP access and you are playing on the Legendary servers, you can use the LOTRO points that you accrue over time and then just apply them to purchasing expansions. Just that easy. There you go. Now you have it. You were paying the sub and then you were able to purchase expansions. I mean, it's a kind of a feed forward system, in my mind at least. Personally, that's how I started for a bit, and I technically did this before the Legendary servers were announced, but I did play the free-to-play model for quite a while. I played on the server Gladden, and I played as a man warden, and I thoroughly loved the game. It was so much fun. I had such a good time, and it's something that I would recommend. And yes, the VIP server for what you get and all the other perks for the game are 100% worth it. Have you played Lord of the Rings Online? Have you tried out the Legendary servers? Tell me down in the comments below. I'm curious to what you guys think about them. I've been on kind of a classic MMO craze, and one such game that I actually had a good time with was Neverwinter Online or Neverwinter MMO. It was interesting, and you can see that video here. As always, stay caffeinated, folks.